Guys, we are back. We're talking about AI. We're talking about billions of dollars. And I am so excited to be back here on this stream in front of this setup, in front of you guys. So you guys might be thinking, what are you going to do today? Where have you been? It's, do you even still own the studio? You might be thinking that because it's been a little while since we've been back here at this studio setup. And I'm going to dive into all these things a little bit later on. But for those of you guys who are coming back, welcome back. But for those of you who are new, my name is William Samasegi. I've been a tech entrepreneur for the past decade. And on this stream, you guys are going to get to see the behind the scenes of us building future billion-dollar companies out in public, bringing a whole new level of behind-the-scenes access and transparency to what it's like building a startup. We always start off with the news. We have the most informed viewers. You're going to know everything that you're going to need to know by watching this stream. But after the news is when we really dig into some meaty segments here. So later today, I've got a surprise guest coming over, actually in just over an hour. So in just over an hour, you guys are going to see our surprise guest, our amazing new assistant. We've talked about her on some of the previous live streams, but this will be your first time getting to see her. It's actually going to be kind of a surprise. She's down for being on camera, which is really great, but I don't know if she's going to know that I'm going to be on live stream when she gets here. But yeah, she's going to be here. And then we've got actual work blocks. So one of the reasons why we haven't been streaming as much recently is because when we're working, this setup here, it's like you're almost in Tony Stark's office in terms of how much this setup you can do. It's just so much more productive. So I haven't wanted to go on stream and be doing work, so that way my assistant can get fully up to speed on how to use the setup and everything. You guys might know this because if you watch the stream, you guys level up at an exponential level. You level up at the exponential rate that AI is leveling up at. But we're showing her how to use Perplexity's comment browser. How are you going to use ChatGPT to solve problems? How are you going to literally, not figuratively, literally 10x the amount of work that you can do versus if you weren't using this setup? So I will stop rambling. We'll go right into the news here. But stay tuned because we've got some surprises and I'm going to give it a quick flash on screen, and then I'm going to pull it right off. We got new stuff that we are going to be doing some unboxings later on the stream. Guys, if you can't tell, I am excited. So guys, we gotta promote the stream, of course. So we're gonna promote this stream. And we're gonna start off with some news segments. So Northrop Grumman. I'm not sure if you guys, this is crazy news. The Pentagon just outsourced space design to AI. And this is about to change modular risk forever. Okay? The Pentagon, AI is bleeding into everything. Okay? So what happened? What actually happened? Northrop Grumman has partnered with Luminary Cloud to use its physics-based AI platform to design spacecraft. This accelerates the timeline for systems development. Now, we're going to throw out all these like different terms, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, AI, as you guys have experienced, has made your workflow exponentially faster, more efficient, and this can be applied everywhere if you use it properly. There are going to be different tools that come up that allow you to use it, make it easier for you to interface with AI, but there are also going to be people who are very creative and are able to piece things together on their own to get a lot more done. And you can get a lot more done if you do that. On this stream, you're going to see us do it. And then, you're around it. You're going to learn how to do it. You're going to see my assistant didn't know any of this stuff a couple weeks ago. And now she's just in it, able to do it. We're going to show you exactly how to do that. But with Northrop Grumman, this is actually an article that AI cited here related to this. So let's actually dive into what's going on here. How's it going, Kevin Brown in the chat? What's up? Good to see you. All right, Bane, guys. Oh my, there is so much that we got to catch you guys up on. We got one. We've been making moves. This is the best way to look at it. Over the weekend, we were making moves. Sorry for getting distracted from this Northrop Grumman piece, but we got Bane in the chat. Top of mind, you might think, what's going on here? So if we take a step back, you guys might know Joaquin from previous streams. And Joaquin is leading our post-editing crew. It's doing our clipping out in Bolivia. And every single week, we have a weekly call. We're going back and forth all the time, but every week we have a weekly call and we think, okay, how are we going to level this thing up? Thank you for the sub. Yo, shout out to Stefan. Stefan's a beast. Shout out to Stefan on Twitch in the chat. Yeah, so every week we're trying to level up. And this last week, I was chatting with Joaquin, and I was like, in any endeavor, the way that you accelerate your timeline to actually getting more done is you want to learn from people who've done it. You want to learn from the best in the world. You want to have mentors. And this game, content creation, streaming, all this stuff is new. And so I've been going and, you're diving down different rabbit holes. You're trying to learn. It's like you're going through a jungle and you don't know the right path. It's a new jungle. But you're an expert jungle walker at this point if you've built some things and you're just trying to learn, like figure out where are you going? Shine the light, maybe you go down a path that looks like the right path, it's the wrong path. The path that all the top streamers, content creators, all these people have done is they have found out distribution. Just like when you're building a startup, say you sell widgets. That's a bad example, but whatever you're selling, point is you need distribution, okay? That's how you're going to make sales. Now, on the social media side, the thing that connected for me is you're not selling a paid product at the end of the day, unless you're scamming with coach course selling. You are trying to sell on attention. Like people are tuning in. They're investing their time and energy. And there's a channel promise. It's like, why would you watch someone? Okay, maybe you watch Mr. Beast because it's very entertaining. Maybe you watch insert any educational podcast because you're learning something. Now, I really had to think through. It's like, okay, what is our channel promise? Like, why are people watching? And like with any startup, who's your target audience, right? Who's your target audience? Your ideal customer profile, ICP. We throw this term around a lot. Now ICP, ideal customer profile. This is massive, ICP, in the startup world, because in the startup world, shit, I just realized I forgot to record locally. 1 second. Okay, sorry editors. Okay, we're recording locally now as well. In the startup world, ICP, super important term, because if you're making something, you need to make it for the right person. You could have the best product in the world, but if you're not giving it to the people who need it, then you might as well have the shittiest product in the world. So with that said, trust me, this will all tie back together. We're looking at, before I'm talking to Joaquin, we're looking at who are the best streamers in the world? Who are the people who have the biggest audiences? And because I was thinking, what the heck are these guys doing? Like you'll see, like I've seen these guys before, and they've popped up on my feed. Like I know who these people are, and I don't. Before diving into all this streaming, I had never watched streams. I'd never tuned in. Yet somehow, some way, these streamers had gotten me to know who they are. I know who these kids are, like the Aidens, Neon, Speed, all these guys. I never watched their stream, never been on Twitch before. I'm like, what the heck did these guys do? Fast forward, doing some research. Same thing with Andrew Tate. All these guys, Andrew Tate blew up, they go viral. It's because they've got the distribution. Everyone knows who they are. And they know who they are because they've got these, you can call them clippers, but they're getting a lot of videos out and in front of people. And yeah, of course, like with anything, like you can have distribution, you also need a product in the startup world. You could have, if you have distribution, you've got a super crappy product that no one wants, then everyone's just going to know that you've got a crappy product and it's not sustainable. So the equivalent here was before going and figuring out distribution, because I had a sense of how we could figure out distribution. But just like with the startup, it's like if you're going to go and have massive distribution, you want to have a decent product when you're there. So short few months ago, we ended up going and try, I mean, some of the people who are here earlier, like Stefan, shout out again in the chat, um, who saw the journey. I mean, we've been leveling up. I didn't have a green screen to start. We didn't even have like a full good camera setup. We all of our settings on the recording side were a mess. And the entire time, even to this day, the views have been very, very low. But the big key, I keep relating it to startups because I really am looking at it like it's a startup. And it's like a lot of the lessons that you learn in building companies, I think actually apply directly to this. It's almost like if you play tennis and then you go and play pickleball. I mean, guys, tennis, you go and play pickleball, you're going to dominate pickleball. And it's not as black and white here, but it is very similar. I mean, it so we're building this audience from scratch, figuring out all these things, figuring out, okay, how do we get the quality up? Got to get the camera, got to get this mic, got to get local recordings. I got to learn all this camera stuff. We got this Insta360, awesome piece of equipment. You guys heard of this thing? Get into that later. But we got it all done and getting distribution. That's what we were figuring out. So this past weekend, figuring out distribution. And it's like all of these guys are in Discord. Now, Discord being completely, you always get my honest takes here. I just tell you how it is. I know almost nothing about Discord, which is embarrassing to say because my last company, SAS Mining, is in the Bitcoin industry. Been in Bitcoin for a long time, and a lot of people in Bitcoin. I mean, Telegram's bigger and Signal, but a lot of people use Discord. So I had it, but I didn't really know the user interface. What are people doing here? How are they operating in Discord? And so started joining a ton of servers. I joined the servers of these big streamers. I was looking at, it was honestly kind of wild. You guys might already know this, but it was wild to me. 'Cause you're looking at these Discords and there's just so many channels, and especially in these massive ones, these massive Discord servers. I went to some of these chats. Okay. I'm about to sound like such a loser here. Okay. So heads up, this is not going to sound good, but go to these main chats, general chats in these big streamer communities. And I'm telling you guys that there are words, terms that I have never seen. It's almost like if someone takes you and they throw you in a class, like a Spanish class, and you don't know Spanish, you know English. You kind of see what they're saying, kind of are picking it up. Spanish class, college level Spanish class, and you've taken it for like a year in middle school, right? With some of these terms I'm trying to figure out in Discord. And the chat's like going, going, going. So it's clear everyone understands what everyone's saying. But like, I don't understand some of these terms. I barely just learned like, you know, how to properly use 6-7. These are like the Ohio. These terms are skibbity. I don't really throw these terms around, but like I know these terms, but some of these new acronyms, I was just like, what the heck? Yes, very embarrassing. But I'm in these discords and we're learning. We're figuring out, okay, getting our hands around things. What is going on? What is going on in these servers? And like with anything, and there's a valuable lesson in this, like with anything, you're always going to suck. You're going to suck at whatever you do. Guaranteed. Guaranteed first time you do something, you are going to blow at it. But that's okay because you're going to learn. You're going to learn. You're going to learn. And as long as you're curious and you just kind of follow that curiosity, you're going to level up. And so we're in the midst of that right now. You guys are witnessing this live with the stream, but you're witnessing the level up here. And the level up that we accomplished this weekend, part of the reason why we haven't been streaming this much. We've been learning, we've been figuring it out. We're giving you the shortcut to at least where we are in terms of what we learned. And we brought Joaquin in and did a bunch of research on all these different clipping communities. And we started trying to message the people. The people submit tickets, but the people who seem to have the know-how about how all this stuff works and can help us replicate the strategy that these larger creators have gone through and done. The bigger guys, they've done the hard work. Some of these kids might not, they might seem kind of dumb. I'll just being honest. You look at some of their content, some of them especially, they seem very stupid. But I'm telling you, that is not the case. I guarantee you, that is not the case. Every single one of these people who've done it, they're there and they might act like, oh, I'm 100% lucky, and they are lucky, but I'm 100% lucky, but they took the actions or did something that got them there. And you can learn from it. And so we're replicating, we're learning the strategy, we're doing all of this stuff that is going to allow the raw streams that doing with you guys to actually be turned into basically nailing distribution, turn it into clips, posting on all these accounts. That is in motion. Full circle. Welcome to the chat, Bane. Glad to have you guys here. This has been a long introduction. We're going to go back into the news segment. This is actually what we have here on screen. And real quick, I'm going to go into this news segment with Northrop Grumman. I am just going to message my assistant and just give her the heads up, actually, that I'm on stream and that she should call me once she's outside so I can get her. I don't want to leave her waiting outside. Good morning. I'm on stream at the moment, so when you get here, call me and I'll come out and bring you in. Just want to make sure I don't miss a text or anything. What do you guys think of the Meta glasses, by the way? It's not really useful here because I'm just sitting. I guess I could get like a, let me show you this. You guys might not be able to tell, this thing's blinking now. So that means that I am recording. It's pretty subtle, pretty subtle. If you're outside during the day, super subtle because you can't really see that it's blinking. If you're at night, very obvious. Okay. The other cool thing about these, I mean, you guys probably seen the POV shots that people like you for social media. These things are amazing. I mean, everything costs a little bit of money. You know, maybe you depending on whatever it is, but um, yeah, these things are great. What I like about them is, let's say you're walking around and something happens, you can click and just you capture it instantly versus like trying to like rustle around and get your phone and then like get it. It's like, no, it's too complicated. Look at it, click. Look, click. The other day, I saw there was actually a guy. This was in San Francisco. San Francisco, by the way. Some of the areas are kind of crazy, but there was this guy with his pants down around his roughly around. It's almost like if you it was not pants, it was shorts, but he pulled them down so they were about halfway down his quads. And so they almost looked like pants because they were just so far down. So he had that, and we're driving. He's on the side of the road here. And it was something where I'm driving. So I'm it's something I notice would have been impossible to capture this photo. But I look and he's down there and he's not only because it's odd, it is odd having your shorts down on to look like pants. That is weird. But what was even weirder was he was in the road to a certain degree. There are two lanes. He's like in one of the lanes, like kind of blocking because his his hands his hands were on the side part of that where the road ends, and then his legs are pushed into the road, and he's doing push-ups. So you got to give the guy credit. I mean, the guy's working out. Not everyone's staying in shape working out. The guy was in shape, but that was a really crazy thing. And I was able to just like not just click. I was able to get a video, hold, and then I just like looked, and obviously I got to pay attention to the road. It all happened so fast, but impossible to get. That's just an example of how versatile these meta glasses are. And then you can even do something like, how do I put this? Let me go, I'll give you an example here. So I'm gonna take a photo, right? So I just took a photo. Actually, here, let me see. I'm gonna move this over here so it's a better photo. Get a better photo. Okay, so I'm gonna take a photo, smiling for the camera. Hey Meta. Hey Meta. Could you post that photo to my Instagram story?
Share last photo on your Instagram story.
Yes.
Sharing photo.
So you see the power of this, guys. This is powerful. If you are trying to, especially if you're trying to have like a whole new type of device, it is like a whole new device. It's so weird to think about it because you're so used to thinking of glasses as glasses. They've always been used for one purpose. This is I don't view these as glasses, even though they are glasses. And whenever people see them, they're glasses. This is a novel piece of technological camera equipment because it's so easy. Just instantly syncs. You have it all in your Meta app, and um, now that I'm talking about this, I'm realizing that I actually need to give access for my Meta app to my assistant and some other people. So I'm gonna do that when she gets here. You know what, guys? We're gonna speed run the news. Normally, we actually try and give a little bit longer news segments, but there's so much to catch you guys up on, and I want to make sure that we get through it all. So we're not gonna go into all of the like go through all the articles. Okay, that might take a little while. But what we are going to do is we are going to go through the news, and I'll give you quick takes. We'll make it nice and quick. Here we go. If this loads. Also in the chat, how's your day been? Let us know how you've been. We have some exciting announcements. Tell us how you've been. We've got some exciting announcements coming later on this stream, but also uh, later this week. So you're gonna want to make sure that you tune in. Yo, Stefan, great you've been doing well, man. Stefan, what's been new in the life of Stefan? I do want to say that I feel bad. We're addressing it later on the stream. I feel bad that when I'm doing these IRL streams, I haven't been able to see the chat. I literally haven't been, I can see like the little line that people are chatting, but I can't see the chat. So we're gonna be fixing it. Yeah, school and stuff. I feel you, man. Well, you're crushing it. I don't know if your grades are good, but you're crushing it learning outside the classroom. If I could go back in time and actually tune in to stuff like this and learn, like I I would be so much further ahead today. Just because the things that like we're covering here, it's actually useful for going and making money and doing stuff in the real world. So the news segments, for some reason, my notes are not loading, so we're not going to hold up anything here. Oh, shout out Stefan. He can kind of program now, just starting out. We love that. Guys, Stefan is a young, ambitious go getter, and I'm sure that he will accomplish whatever he wants to do. So, what you might be wondering, what is in Williams? What's in Williams' hands right now? What is in his hands? And you probably can't read it from this distance, so I'm going to keep holding it up like this. In my hand right now, we've got version 2. We've got V2. You might be thinking, V2 of what? Will, just tell us. I'm going to unbox these. These cards, you actually can't normally get in the US. You can't get them from their main site. But they sell them on Amazon, so you can get them on Amazon. But the main site, if you wanted to buy directly from the people who manufacture it, you have to be in the UK. These, I've explained it on a previous stream. I'm gonna start opening it, and then I'll do the unboxing. Yes, I love Pokemon cards, but they are not Pokemon cards. I do have a Pokemon card collection, though. These are cards from the Diary of a CEO. So the way that these work, this is we have 2 boxes of this now. Oh, this is actually the first edition. So we have the second edition box. This is the first edition. And you might be wondering what's so special about these cards, William? Well, on this podcast that they run, more cards in here. It's actually I believe, the second biggest podcast globally. And they focus on interviewing top tier business leaders. And the interviewer's great. I mean, Game recognizes game. It's hard to interview and to, I mean, you should try it sometime. Seriously. At some point, if you get the chance to host a panel, to host a podcast, to do anything like that, even super low stakes, try it. And you will see it's really hard to host a podcast. Everyone thinks, hey, you're a great conversationalist. It's going to be really easy. Not true. It's actually very difficult to host a podcast. And on this podcast, at the end of every episode, they ask the guest a question. And it's a very difficult, well thought out, emotional question. And the question is actually written by the guest who was on the episode before. So whoever you come after, your question is that following guest's question. Then after your episode, you write down a question. So you have a lot of the smartest people in the world coming up with the most in-depth, great questions, and they're all written on these cards. So I'm gonna open them up. Joe Rogan, and this is Diary of a CEO, and Stephen Bartlett should do an episode together. That would be cool. Yeah, Joe Rogan, and Stephen also hasn't been on Joe Rogan's podcast. These questions are going to be a lot harder to answer. I've answered two of these questions on stream, or no, how many have I answered? I answered two on the last stream, and on the first stream, I answered one. So I've answered three of these questions on stream from the other deck. I am telling you, these are crazy. These are crazy questions to throw at someone off the cuff. Crazy question. Okay. Yeah. I'm actually really curious. Guys, you and I, Safan, we are experiencing this together. Okay. We are going to see what these questions, because I've seen the other one. So yeah, let's open these up. And what's cool about them, I'll show you. If this is the same as the second edition, then let's see here. Okay, so these are very similar but slightly different. So I'll give you an example. So there are two sides to the card. There's like the card where it literally shows the same handwriting of the person who writes it. So I'm gonna take the top card. I have no idea what this says. Let's put these down. What does this say? So I'm gonna read it for you guys, okay? But just to show you, down up here is the question that this person wrote. So it shows the name of the person who was interviewed who wrote the question, and then it shows like what they, yeah, what they wrote. So some of these guys have wild handwriting. So like this guy has got some weird handwriting, but yeah, Nicola Mendelssohn. We're gonna look this. I'm gonna look this dude up. And then I'll read the question. Mendel- Oh, it's a woman. Okay, my bad. Um, she is the head of global business development at Meta. She looks she looks ambitious. She looks like one of those ladies who, you know, is a real go-getter. Yeah, so I mean, long story short, if you're going to be head of business development at Meta, then you're a beast. You know how to get things done. You're a leader. You, yeah, I mean, one of Fortune's most powerful women, okay? And one of the most inspiring women in European tech. She survived lymphoma and is funding a cure at the moment. And she's championing female founders and small businesses. So this is the ladies of ladies, you know, of just, you know, smart lady, it seems like, on philanthropic organizations. Okay, so what question did she ask? Okay. What question? I'm going to read the question here. And on the back, it actually shows who the guest was when this question was asked. And when you scan it, we'll find a way to pull this up, but then you can see the answer. So I'm going to ask the question and then, yes, we'll go to this. So, what are some of, oh my God, her handwriting is just, what are some words you've never said to anybody? Why haven't you said them? And who should you have said them to? Deep question. Deep question. What are some words you've never said to anybody? Why haven't you said them? And who should you have said them to? Difficult, difficult questions. Guys, you see what I mean? This is all unscripted. I had no idea. I picked a random card. These questions, I kid you not. And this is going to sound crazy. The 3 questions that I have answered from the other edition pack, the other 3 questions that we've had to answer on stream are harder, like way harder than this question. You know what? I'm going to go get this other deck because I need to show you guys what we're dealing with here. Okay. I'm going to be right back. Guys, I forgot how much fun these desktop streams were. We're gonna have to do some more desktop streams. So this you can see how they leveled up here, guys. I'm just gonna show you, bringing it back to company building. This is one of the benefits of tuning into the stream. You're gonna learn a ton about building companies. I'm gonna show you an example. Example here. It just we see it in everything at this point. It's like if you're hanging out with people who play soccer all day, you're going to learn about soccer. Learn around with tennis all day, you're going to learn about tennis. If you're hanging out with someone who's building companies all day, you're going to learn about how to build companies. So, and business. V1. This is the box we just opened. Right? I'm going to put it in front of myself, so green screen. Okay, V1. Looks good, looks clean. You've got like a little thing on the side, first edition. And on the back, okay, yeah, there we go. Empowering true human connection. So like it's clean. It feels clean and solid, right? The V2, okay? It's better. They manage the text better. They put this gold gloss at the top. It just feels like a better box. They kept the same exact design thing on the side. And then look at this. They improved the wording. Empowering true human connection on V1. V2, unlock deeper levels of connection. Yes, I'd love to see your 47-minute PowerPoint about staplers. Okay, guys. Okay, I will speed it up. I will speed it up here. So look at these questions. Oh, I haven't seen that one. Okay, well, this is this is the dumbest question, I think. I guaranteed this question. I haven't answered this one on stream. I haven't seen. This one is the dumbest question by far. And who asked this question? Richard Hammond. I feel like we got to look this guy up after because this is a silly question. I feel like this guy must have been fucking around when he came up with that question. But I'm gonna read these are questions. The other ones, the real ones, are the ones that I'm gonna have to that I answered on stream that are very difficult. The crazy questions. Yeah, look at these. These. So for context, So I'm going to read one of these and then I'll share something. So this is the question I answered the other day. When was the last time you cried of happiness? We're talking about crying, you know? The other one that I answered the other day. What would you do if you absolutely weren't afraid? And then the other one I answered. What is your biggest regret? And if you could go back, what would you do differently? These questions, I'm telling you, they're difficult. And so this is another thing that I actually like that they did on these other V2 cards. They put the level. So you see at the top, level, it's hard to see, but they put level 1, level 2, level 3. So these two cards of when I cried and when and what I'd do if I wasn't a fraidy cat, those two, yeah, when I cried and if what I'd do if I wasn't scared, these are level 2 cards. So these aren't even the highest level cards. And then a level 3 card is like your biggest regret and what you do differently. Um, so yeah, guys, one of the things that I'm going to be doing, you might be thinking, let's reset here. Why is Will going on and on about these cards? Who cares? Who cares about these cards? Let's get back to building companies here. But these cards, going back, tying it all together, just giving you guys my full thoughts on things. So with the streaming, with the clipping, with everything, I was thinking, what is going to make something interesting? What's going to keep people engaged? What is going to allow us to sprinkle in? It's like innovating. Like when you're building a product, you're going to try different things. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. But I thought, you know what? I think it'll be interesting. It'd be interesting for us to be able to try and answer some of these questions because, first off, they're crazy questions. So even just answering them, they get you to think. Like if you try to answer these questions, actually, I'm not going to make you put these in the chat, but just give it a thought. I'll ask these questions one more time so you can give it a thought. I'll ask one of them. When was the last time you cried of happiness? What would you do if you absolutely weren't afraid? And what is your biggest regret? And if you could go back, what would you do differently? Deep questions. Answering these on stream, I think, is going to be cool because we'll get some interesting content from it. It'll help keep the energy up, answering them every once in a while. And then this just is pure growth hacking, right? Every single one of these questions and cards, there are 3 connections. You've seen a lot of these other people on social media grow really fast through either trend jacking or social jacking, which is you could be a nobody, but if you're covering someone famous or some big trending topic, like people will click on that even though they don't know who the heck you are because it is relevant. So if you're a known creator, yes, you can get eyeballs eating lunch, doing nothing. But if no one knows you, your idea alone, your idea alone has to be interesting enough for them to want to click because they're not clicking for you. No one knows who you are. So they're clicking for the idea. And so going back to these cards, 3 connections here. 1, the actual podcast, Diary of a CEO. Maybe something gets clipped up about their show, or something can tie to the show. It's a big show. The other one, every guest. This lady, Nicola. I don't know how big she is on social media, but my guess is that she's got a sizable social media following. And uh, finally, the last person, the person who answers, that question, maybe social media content from there. Answered the same question as this dude, Scott Galloway. I actually know Scott Galloway. Interesting. Oh, he had to answer his biggest regret question. Oh, that's funny. I should watch that. Uh, yeah, so maybe I'll watch that right now, actually, while it's top of mind. Else I'm gonna forget. Now the big question is, how do I get this on? How do I? Actually, I'll just scan it from my phone, send it to myself, and open it up. So you guys are seeing exactly how these cards work. Scan the card. It pulls up YouTube, and then I'm gonna send this to myself. All right, guys. So we're gonna pull up this answer. So for those of you guys who don't know, the guy who's answering this question is a successful entrepreneur. He also has a podcast. Oh, this is from 3 years ago. I was looking at this and I was thinking, Scott looks different in this. He aged over the past 3 years. Okay, this is an interesting thumbnail. Why? Why you're not having sex? You see what I mean? This is what we were just talking about. So maybe a lot of people probably don't recognize Scott Galloway, right? Maybe they know the Diary of a CEO, the podcast. I mean, 13.6 million subscribers. But then they also, even though they're known, they have a good idea. Because you might be scrolling through this and you think, why am I not having sex? You know? So yeah, why you're not having sex. But then we click here and okay. It's interest it's interesting that they didn't link directly to they linked to the episode, but they didn't link to the answer. But it's always the last question. So here it is.
My biggest regret.
Oh yeah. His biggest regret. I'm actually so curious to hear his answer here.
And if you could go back, what would you do differently?
So this is the other thing, guys. The interviewer, he's got this like his name's Stephen Bartley. He's got this like buttery type of accent that gets that almost makes the question seem more deep. You know those people. There are certain people that the way that they talk, they could say something really stupid, but it'll still sound really smart. He he's kind of got that. I mean, he doesn't say stupid stuff. He still says smart stuff, but he's got that type of a way of speaking that really you listen to him and you think, wow, that's a deep question. So we're gonna play this. Here we go.
What is your biggest regret personally? And if you could go back, what would you do differently?
You can see the
It's
smile
funny.
fading
Some of
off
the
of his
questions that
face.
are obvious are the hard. My biggest regret, personally, I wish I had been kinder from an earlier age. I think it's good for the world. I think it makes me feel more masculine. It makes me
Mm,
feel more successful to be kind.
it's a good
And I didn't
answer.
stumble upon that. I wish I'd come to that realization sooner. That to be generous, to be loving, to be, the Cindy Gallup, a friend of mine, says that the most wasted resource is good intentions. I wish my good intentions had, I was more ready, more confident to articulate the kind thoughts I had about others and to articulate them with more ease. I've
Mm,
thought good things about other people. I've wanted to do good things for a long time, but I didn't have the confidence or the discipline to either say them or do them. I wish I'd had that confidence earlier because the majority of us are good people. The majority of us admire other people. The majority of us love other people. And we don't want to articulate it. I think especially men because we're worried that saying I admire you or you know, you're just such a handsome young buff man who's acquired so much success at a young age. I'm kind of like trying to figure out, I'd love to know, like, how did you do all this at such a young age? Saying that is embarrassing for a man. There's this feeling among men that me saying that makes me less successful and masculine. Like it's
So sorry to jump in on his answer here. Uh, Great answer, by the way. I agree, Bain. Scott is giving a great answer here. These are difficult questions to answer, and to give you guys a little bit of background on this guy, so you know who you're listening to. I've listened to some of his pod. I was actually at a party that he was at on last Friday. I didn't get to meet him. I didn't see him there, but it was a party hosted by Andrew Yang, who also is a beast. He ran for president, not in this last term, but the term before. I'm not a big fan of politicians, but I actually like Andrew Yang. I was actually most excited to meet this guy, Scott, at the party. Um, but the reason why this guy is uh, it's a very, I guess, on the show, very successful. He's had an interesting path. He's built companies, and now he hosts a podcast. And I think that any person you tune into, anyone you listen to, they're going to have a certain worldview that's shaped by their experiences. You're going to have a certain worldview. You're going to believe things to be true. Then, as you go on the journey of life, you learn other things, and then, like, maybe I don't think that anymore, and then you'll change, and it'll evolve, and it'll evolve. But what's so interesting is you look at all these people who've gone and conquered their fields, done all these big things, and there's almost like an aura around them to a certain degree, or like a view that, hey, this person is older, they figured it out. Especially when you're younger. Like when I was growing up, it's like I would look at these different people who've done all these different things, and I would think, like by that age, it's like if you work hard, you have it all figured out. And then you realize when you have these people that answer these types of questions that, yeah, they have a lot more figured out than you. You've got very little figured out compared to them. So it makes sense to listen to them, listen to and hang out with people who kind of have been through the journey and you can learn secondhand from. But they're also still in the exact same situation of figuring it out. Like, because you're seeing the highlight reel, you're seeing the little sliver of them talking about the thing that they became the best at in the world, or whatever it is, or a really high level. And they're at a level that's so much higher than you can even begin. And you almost put that level across all areas, and you realize, no, these people are deeply flawed. They've got massive problems, massive challenges. Uh, they're much older, so they've had time to accrue. And in many cases, and this is one of the things that many people don't realize, is that person who's amazing, world class at that one thing, how did they get there? Well, they had to sacrifice all of these other things and could be a lot lower in all these other areas because they wanted to make the percentage and the slight improvement in that one thing that you know them for. And so, uh, yeah, just food for thought. But this guy is giving a great answer. I'll let him finish up. It looks like this is a long answer, so he's gonna go on for a little bit. I'm curious to hear what he has to say.
a zero sum game. And what you realize as you get older is that is how you feel strong and how you feel kind. I wish I'd figured that out earlier. I wish I'd been more forthcoming with my positive emotions.
Does that end up making us miserable personally? So if I hold that kind of, it's almost a form of resentment, isn't it? I think we all have it. I think when Justin Bieber came onto the scene and I looked over and there was this like 14-year-old that had all the women and he was beautiful and he was selling out these arenas, I'm thinking, fuck it, this guy.
Well, Schadenfreude. I mean, it's just resentment of other people's success. I think that's different. I think Justin Bieber warrants some hate. But
for sure, but the reason I was hating on him was purely jealousy. It was
fair enough. But my sense is you seem pretty self-actualized at your age. I was at the age of 30 as an entrepreneur. if my team was doing a great job and there was a great shot, I rewarded them at the end of the year with a bonus. As you get older, what you realize is young people need watering. It doesn't matter how successful they are. It doesn't matter how much money they're making. When you say, I sent a text this morning. My Prop G has this new thing called, we have something called a markets podcast, which is focused on the markets. The team did such an amazing job with the sound edits today. And it's a 24-year-old. It's a 24-year-old doing this shit. And she has such a feel. Her name's Claire Miller. She has such a feel for how to integrate sound and music and knows when to fade it in and fade it out. And I immediately register that. And I think, oh, me registering that is really good for her because I'm the boss. Well, why wouldn't you pull out your phone and say, your integration of sound here is so striking and your talent is so ahead of where you are? And I did that. And I know when she wakes up this morning and gets that text message, it's just going to make her morning. It's just going to make her morning. 20 years ago, I didn't think to do that.
Why?
I don't know. I just didn't do it. Just didn't, I don't know, selfish, didn't want to give up that, again, saw it as somewhat of lazy, not kind. I don't know.
Is there an element of thinking that if you give the compliment, then someone...
So another great point. See, now you guys can see why I think that this guy's very intelligent. So this guy has gone down that entrepreneurship path, and right there, that's a golden nugget of wisdom. And I'll actually kind of riff on that for a little bit, give you another related nugget, so to say. So it actually relates back to psychology, and one of the things that they talk about in terms of motivations. So I remember when I was back in school, there was this class that I went to, and I'm trying to remember, these details aren't as important. It's a behavioral psychology class. And it sounds weird because psychology isn't like directly related to business. People don't associate psychology with like earning in terms of degrees. But I would say that I didn't care really about anything in school, but the classes that I could bear, that I could bear, that I thought, okay, this is bearable, were the psychology classes, because I found it so interesting. It was very, I don't know how to explain it, but you could see patterns. I could see the pattern recognition. And the pattern recognition here, well, going back to the class, was the final assignment at the end of the year, like your semester project, was actually putting the behavioral psychology principles that you learned in the class into action. And the way that they did that was there was a local shelter, dog shelter called Mostly Mutts. And the final assignment was you get in a group of 2 or 3, and your assignment is to go to the dog shelter, and you're assigned a dog, and you train that dog with behavioral psychology principles. Very fun. I mean, this is one of my like the most fun classes. But in that class, in the final behavioral psychology class, I remember when the first time I was walking to Mostly Mutts, walking up to the gate, they had all these dogs in this pen, and all the dogs were just super crazy. Like they were like barking, and it was like a kind of intense environment. It's almost like a jail for dogs, where everyone, like, there's like the inmate dog, and they're all just at the gate, like snaring their teeth, barking at you. And growing up, my mom, she was like, I can't even, words don't do this justice, but terrified of cats and scared of dogs. She has legit felinophobia, like terrified of cats. And so I was never around cats or dogs really growing up. And so it was kind of new to me. Like I was always kind of just, didn't bother them, ambivalent, was never the person to be like, oh, you have a dog? Let's go pet the dog, all this. So I was going in, hadn't spent much time with dogs, very little compared to people by that time I'm in college. So I remember going, I'm not sure if you guys want me to go into all this, but some of the principles in behavioral psychology, teaching and training this dog, it's like you learn so many, it completely changed my outlook on things. And uh, like on dogs, of course, but on uh, how some like little things could make a massive difference. Because at the end of the day, we would just go in and feed the dog and hang out with the dog. Like in reality, yes, there are like these principles and stuff we learn in psych, but we would just hang out with this dog and give it food. And like we tried to train it with a couple of things, and we taught it a, a couple of things. Like we taught it sit, we taught it to come like to us, and taught it like the paw thing. And I just remember like how quick the behavior change was. Like the second time we went there, the second time, I remember all the dogs again like ran up to the cage and they're like clawing, jumping at us. And our dog's name, he was like a little wire tail terrier, like very like adorable dog, and his name was Jay-Z. So like you would say Jay-Z, the dog would come up. This is his name, Jay-Z. And I remember coming up second time in the corner, just kind of looking from afar, looking all like docile, was Jay-Z just sitting there after one time with him. Like I remember first time we came up, he was with the rest of the dogs, jumping, barking, like, getting fired up, like angrily at us. And I think that like it's those little things, tying it back to this. I mean, those types of experiences where it's like you completely have one worldview and then something changes because of like some experience. And like now I suddenly completely, it sounds so silly because I didn't really do a good job of explaining how like my view of dogs were before, but like that one experience completely changed my entire attitude and attitude moving forward. That one experience of now I love dogs, I understand them better, like I just so many different things because of that class. And I think that he's given an example here where over time when building companies, he learned a very valuable lesson. And that valuable lesson is appreciation. The psychological principle that like you learn is that there are different types of motivation. There's intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. So yeah, if someone pays you $1 million, that's some pretty big external motivation. You're like, I'm gonna go. You might not be motivated to wake up at 6 a.m. every day and go and do X, Y, and Z. But if someone's paying you $1 million, that's some big external, extrinsic motivation. Then you've got intrinsic motivation. That's exactly what he's talking about. The or actually extrinsic, it's also like kind of like this. So internal is like someone themselves on their own accord is motivated to do something. They don't need like the external payment. In a weird way, though, uh, I messed that up. He also is giving a different form of extrinsic motivation. So the extrinsic motivation here would be, hey, let's say you're working for someone. They're paying you a lot of money. Big extrinsic motivation. Same exact job. Editing voice and sound and stuff. Extrinsic motivation. They're paying you money, you do the job. But eventually you're like ambivalent. Your boss is kind of an asshole or doesn't care. You find a better job that pays slightly more money. You quit, go to the other job. Scenario 2. You're in that job, but your boss recognizes your work, does these types of things, and you feel appreciated. And you get these texts where like, hey, like good job, blah, 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 all that stuff. That's an additional form of extrinsic motivation. So now that other job, maybe that other job pays $1,000 more a month. So you make $12,000 more a year. This first job, like, but you don't know like how that other boss is going to be, whatever, all these things. Now with your existing job, you have a boss that actually cares and will send you these messages every once in a while and shows those little actions. They're not giving you any more money, but you are going to be way less likely to leave that job for that other job that's paying slightly more. Now let's put another layer on this. Now, when you layer in intrinsic motivation, what's an example of intrinsic motivation? Let's say, I'll talk about you, Stefan. Stefan, I know that like sometimes you'll be playing video games. You seem to like video games. The gaming company, the video game company, they're not paying you to play their video game for an hour or two a day. When I was growing up, I loved Call of Duty. Call of Duty didn't pay me a cent. Didn't make a dime from Call of Duty, but I enjoyed it. I was intrinsically motivated. I liked playing Call of Duty. Do that for free. If you have strong intrinsic motivation to something, that's a very strong thing. If you can screen for that when you're hiring too, find people who are intrinsically motivated to do something. Something for them feels like Call of Duty, video games, play. They would do it for free. And someone else, they'd need to make money. They would not do that for free if they weren't getting paid. Those are two very different people. So if you can find people who are intrinsically motivated to do something, intrinsically motivated to want to do something, even without money, then that's huge, because that means that they're going to love to do it. And so as a leader, business owner, I mean, it's not always easy to screen and find these things, and you're always trying to move fast and grow. But if you find someone who is intrinsically motivated and extrinsically motivated, and you, while working with them, outside of just like the money that you pay them, can give like that external motivation as well, just by being a good person, being good to be around, recognizing the work that they do, then you're going to actually build a much better company. Like, you are going to maintain better teams, like you're going to have better working relationships. So all of these things, I guess, is what I'm getting at, is all of these things are relevant. And if you're hanging out with Scott, you learn. I guess I kind of just like dove down a rabbit hole that might be unnecessarily deep, but these things can help you build better teams, maintain better teams, et cetera, et cetera. Speaking of, guys, surprise guest in 5 minutes, my assistant is going to be here. So that is super exciting. And so what I'm going to do with her, she actually hasn't seen the Streamlabs setup, all of this stuff. So I'm going to explain it to her when she gets here. So yeah, I'm going to continue playing this answer. And it actually, from a timing perspective, seems like it'll line up really well.
Someone can become complacent, or they might not strive
as hard, maybe. I don't know. I saw my job as a CEO back when was all over everybody all of the time. I mean, just all the time. And I'm still like that, and not as bad.
A little bit as well, to be fair.
And look, you can do that and still be kind. I was on a panel with other CEOs, and they asked, "What is your management philosophy?" And this one woman who runs a very successful startup said, "It's putting people in the role to succeed." And the other person said, it's helping people find their true self, finding what they're really passionate about. And then it came to me like, I'm all fucking over everybody all of the fucking time. And I just went dark. I'm like, I don't know how else to do it. I'm just all over. And I realized maybe that's why I've never been able to grow a $1 billion business, because I'm just too, I don't want to say in the weeds. I do give people, I think, a decent amount of latitude, but I don't know how else to do it, just to, kind of be all over everything all of the time. Maybe that's why, again, I'm not running a multi-billion-dollar franchise.
I can relate. I can relate to that a lot. But that's a conversation for another time, I guess, because it's not as much about me. But thank you, Scott, for your time and your wisdom.
Thank you.
I followed you for some time, and I remember going out to Bali a couple of years ago, grabbing the book in the airport when I was off to write my own book. So your book was a source of inspiration for me.
So guys, I'm going to give you an example here. This is entrepreneurship right here. There are fires that sometimes need to be watered. Okay. So without giving you all the details, our CEO of my other company, he's at an event at a conference, and they flagged the IP of him at that other event. And so one of our exchange partners, crypto exchanges, needs to verify IDs and stuff and do like some additional verification. And until then, all of our transfer activity is paused. Now, if you're running a global business, we've got data centers on 4 different continents. All of these different things, money needs to move around. You need things to do, like there's money in different places, blah, blah, blah. And so when things like this pop up, like I need to be on it ASAP. So I'm on stream right now. I don't want to end the stream, and my assistant's about to get here, but I need to do this and get them unblocked so they can operate the business. So I got to reach out to our CFO at Saz Mining and get this done real quick. I'm going to let this play, but the stream is going to be, I'm not going to be here for probably about like 5 minutes. I'm going to try and get this done as quickly as possible. I will be right back. You're not going to want to miss the update after I get back. I got to go take care of this.
I remember reading it on my desk there in Ubud, and that's why I was surprised it wasn't behind me today, but I guess it's upstairs. And your bullshit-free approach to sharing yourself and your ideas is incredibly important. I think we've seen a sort of a decline in a willingness to be both vulnerable and brutally honest about our perspectives. And it doesn't mean our perspectives are always correct, but the collision of 2 ideas that are honest, I think, is how we ultimately lead to progress. So I love that. And that's why we ultimately have this podcast. Your new book, Adrift America in 100 Charts, is out now.
Yep.
Why did you write that book?
Hey, Jeremy, how's it going, man?
You know so much about so many things. You talk about so many topics. Why?
I'm good. So it seems like we got a little verification thing needed.
Tissue. I feel very patriotic. As I get older, I'm more grateful for my blessings. And one of my blessings,
They like to keep us on our toes.
And I love charts. We've been communicating with words since the alphabet for 1,500 years.
It's actually really funny that they,
images, whether it was
I love that they're so in the weeds. They love hearing from me.
The walls of caves or looking at the height of the sky for tens of thousands. So I've always been really drawn to charts. We can process information 6 to 60 times faster when it's visual. So I thought, how can I create a narrative around what ails America? And what are the solutions with charts. So it's a chart and then a narrative, second chart and a narrative, all grouped into themes. And also, I just want to write a book every 12 to 15 months. I feel like it's the hardest thing I do, but I feel like it keeps me sort of young.
Okay. And so I'm at my computer, ready to rock and roll.
Context. And all of your books have been important. For me, it's because of the way that you write.
Oh, thanks.
It's not just the content itself, but it's writing in such an accessible way, which can make a very complicated theme be accessible to someone like me who is not, I don't consider myself to be an intellectual in that capacity. And thank you for your time today. It's a real stroke of luck that you now live in London and you're able to be here and do this. And I feel very honored that you came.
Yeah, I'm going to kraken.com.
Thank you so much, Scott. It's a pleasure. A quick word from one of our sponsors. I've got a tip for all of you that will make your virtual meeting experiences, I think, 10 times better. As some of you may know by now, Blue Jeans by Verizon offers seamless, high-quality video conferencing. But the reason why I use Blue Jeans versus other video conferencing tools is because of immersion. Their tools make you feel more connected to the employees or customers you're trying to engage with. And now, they're launching one of their biggest feature enhancements to impact virtual events so far called Blue Jeans Studio. I actually used it the other day. I did a virtual event using the studio, which I think about 700 of you came to. TV-level production quality, all done by one person with very little technical experience on a laptop. So if you've got an event coming up and you're thinking about doing it virtually, check out Blue Jeans Studio now. Let me know what you think, because I genuinely believe, I know this is an advert and I'm supposed to say this, but I genuinely believe it's the best tool I've seen for doing really immersive, simple but high quality production virtual events. There is a really exciting new product coming from Huel, which the founder Julian told me about yesterday on WhatsApp.
Oh, I see.
Something I've wanted.
Do you want to fire it off to me on Signal?
Nutrition stack, the things that I have and consume every single day to keep me performing at my best and in a good shape and healthy. There's one thing missing, which Huel currently don't do. And to get that message from yesterday,
can I do it from my phone by chance, or would it be better on the desktop?
On a couple of core principles, which is making sure that the the stuff inside the products are not only nutritionally complete, but they're sourced from suppliers that provide the best quality nutrients. And to know that Huel are now going into more categories that are essential to my nutrition stack is incredibly exciting. So if you're starting your Huel journey or you haven't started your Huel journey,
Yeah.
my recommendation is to get the starter pack they have on the website. I'll link it down below. And that gives you a little bit of all the products in a
Okay.
box. And then from that, you can decide which products are for you and where they fit in your life. And I think if you're anything like me, you might just fall in love with the brand.
Sounds good. All right. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. I'll try it from my phone. If it doesn't work on my phone, then I'll do it on my laptop.
Raise your hand.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You can actually come in. I'll introduce you to the chat. I mean, we'll be on stream a lot. There's also only like 18 people watching. So I'm on mute, guys, right now. I feel like I've hyped you up so much, like on chat earlier today. Yeah, just talking about we got some really exciting stuff coming. I'm just on the phone right now, on mute, gonna take care of some of this stuff. And then here on the screen, if you want to look here, this is kind of how the streaming and everything works. So, oh wait, actually, real quick, I'll pause. Or all right, so that's the username for Kraken. Do you think I can? Should I turn off my VPN as I'm doing this, maybe, or keep it on? California. Okay, cool. Um, so log in. Let's see. It says forgot password. Enter your email address. If it's correct, we'll send you an email with password reset instructions. Um, no, it just said forgot. Yeah, I put in that username and password and it said forgot password, enter your email. If it's correct, we'll send you an email with reset password instructions. Sure. I can try it on my computer too. Yeah. Okay. Let's do that. Um, Yeah. Okay, now on my computer it's working. So it says use passkey or authenticator app. All right, sweet. And then, yeah, I'll just type the code whenever. All right, approve new device by, we notice you're signing in from a new device, approve. Okay. Yes. Sounds good. Oh, very smart. Yes, because of their tricky ways. Yeah, I see. Okay. All right. I'm refreshing. I'll let you know when I get it. Wait, yeah, so I said approved device. Okay. Okay, new device approved. Now make sure signing is easier. So access account. Yeah, it's black. Settings on the top right. A ribbon with a bunch of stuff. It's a yeah. Well, what section am I trying to get to? Um, oh, security. Yeah, I found it. I found it. Right above the security, a pop-up box. Yeah, let's try that and see if that works. And then if we still can't figure it out, then we can hop on a video call. All right, I just muted myself. So I'm on with the CFO of SAS Mining.
You can't hear us.
They can hear us, it's fine. Um, uh,
I'm saying crazy stuff.
yeah, it's fine. I mean, yeah. If anything, it makes it more entertaining content, you know. Um,
Okay, what are you doing?
yeah, so Kraken shut down our access because our CEO is speaking at an event, like an international event. So he logged into the exchange account from a different place, and so they like paused all of our stuff. I'm like, I need to verify. Okay. Awesome. Sounds good. So I'll just keep refreshing my email until it comes through. All right. I got it. So Click here to begin your verification. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, now it says want to switch to another device, so I can scan. I can scan this. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Driver's license. I'm just taking the photos of the license. Okay, it says it's processing the ID. Okay. I'm gonna have to retake. I guess I didn't take clear enough photos. All right, let's see here. Why do they do this? This is just like such a crazy. Yeah. That's a fair point. It keeps saying we couldn't verify your photo ID. Make sure your ID details are clear to read. But they are clear to. All right, I'm gonna try again. Like, I don't know how I can make this any clearer. Like, I don't know what they want from me here.
Put a flash on or something.
More time here. Nice dark surface here. Only processing with your photos. Okay, there we go. All right, now I got to do the selfie head turn. Okay. All right. It's loading. Okay. I'm centered.
What do they think was fraud or something? Him doing whatever he did?
All right, recovery request submitted. It may take 2 to 48 hours for Kraken to process and investigate your recovery request. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. If something comes up, feel free to message, call, just as needed. I know it's important to get into the account, so you can spam me, so I see it. Sounds good, man. Yeah, well, if you need anything, hit me up. Yep, absolutely. Yep, take care. Bye. All right, so we got through it. Heavy duty security they got going on here. Yeah, so sorry that this kind of all came up right as you were getting here, but for context, yeah, we It makes sense. He brought up a good point. He's like, imagine if someone did get into your account, you don't want them to be able to like go in and then just move a bunch of money out. So I understand the security protocol, honestly, but it is a lot to like have to deal with. But yeah, looks like we're all good there. So game plan for the rest of the stream. I'll also give you like a quick overview, like look at how this stuff operates, because I think in the future there might be ways that like you might just kind of like how you're helping with social media stuff and everything, helping learn how to do the stream and get everything set up. I think is gonna be useful to just know. You know what I mean? So this shows I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory, but this shows what the viewers are seeing. And so, and then this is the chat here. And so we can like put everything in the chat. So like, I want to respond to Bane. He's like our mod and he's going to be running our Discord. So I'm just gonna, like, you can respond in the chat down there on the bottom right. You can see the setup of what people are seeing up here. So they're watching on a desktop, they're going to see this. They're watching on their phone, they're going to see this.
Oh, okay.
And then if you want to move any of the elements, you can like, you kind of have to find it. The easiest way is like, also interrupt me if none of this makes sense, because this is kind of weird. So on the source side, on the display capture, okay, so this one is display 2 is what's displaying. So for some reason, display 4, I got to like revisit these, but I can like turn stuff off. Oh wait, what the fuck? Is it display 4? Yeah, turn stuff off, turn stuff on. So these are like layers. And so display 4 is, I guess, this. And you can resize it.
Do things like this.
Oh,
In
perfect.
college, but that was a long time ago for my brain. This is familiar.
Amazing. Yeah. So it's, I guess for me, it took me so long to learn this shit. I don't know why it was so confusing, but yeah, I mean,
sitting there explaining it to you, you know?
yeah, like no one was explaining it to me. I was just like by myself clicking around.
It takes like 1-2 times.
Yeah. And then like there are a lot of little troubleshooting things, but
what are you using? What is this application?
so this is Streamlabs.
Streamlabs.
Yes, Streamlabs OBS.
I used something else. I think it was.
And
it was exactly like this.
Amazing. You might have been using OBS. So,
Really?
yeah. So we
Actually, yeah.
it was this one. Yeah, they're very, very similar.
Yeah, it was that.
Because if you know OBS, then you're going to know Streamlabs. It's the same, pretty much the same thing. OBS is more like open source, and this is free.
Yeah.
We're paying for Streamlabs, but this allows us to stream to multiple.
Okay.
And so the reason every time we go live, we open up, we'll go down into here, search and open OBS, and then we'll search and open Streamlabs. So Streamlabs and OBS, right? As soon as we get in, instead of this saying stop recording, it'll say like start recording. Whenever you click that, I'll show you how we manage the files. It's similar to the Insta360 stuff, but once we close down the stream. So whenever we go live, I always am like, all right, are we live here? Is the audio working? Where you can view it down, the camera's blocking it right now, but just I'll pull it here so you can kind of see.
I see.
Yeah. So this is our microphone, and whenever we play a video, like I'll play this for 2 seconds.
And if you have recently
You can see the
had
audio
to
levels here.
introduce yourself or make small talk. Yes.
So yeah. And then if you want to mute the audios on either channel, like let's say that we didn't want people to hear that conversation, you mute it with this, which is kind of important at times. Like if you're talking about something or we just click that button and it would mute it, or you could click this to the red.
Oh,
yesterday. Yeah, so those are the basics. I'll show you tomorrow. I'll start the live with you here so I can show you the like how to actually get it live and how we use chat. Similar to like what we're doing with everything, like how we use ChatGPT to do all the work and we just like copy paste everything in and then just go live. So yeah, I think. Oh, also, Next Level Gamers, what's up, dude? A long time no see. It's been ages. We've been, I guess we've been doing some IRL stuff. Yeah, go for it. I've been doing some like IRL stuff, like doing in-person gym workouts, stuff like that, and I haven't been able to see the the comments. So we got that fixed. I'll actually start with this unboxing piece here. I actually unboxed one of the items yesterday. I'll go grab that, but I'll show you the whole setup and everything that we've got. Guys, we got the newest, brand new, top of the line, not the Samsung Galaxy 25, not the Samsung Galaxy 25 Ultra or Max. We've got the Samsung 25 Ultra. Guys, this thing is better than my iPhone 16 Pro Max. I haven't been using it for long, but I can already tell it's better. Yes, Next Level Gamers. How could I forget you? You tune into the stream. It's like being an early adopter of Bitcoin. You know, you are in early. There are many benefits that come with that. So appreciate you tuning in as always. Okay, so here we go. This thing has a little clicker. I'm not sure if you heard that click, but it's got like a little pen here. You can take this out. And look, I can write here. And it even makes the sound. It makes a sound as if you're writing. Oh, whoops. Yeah. It feels sturdier. This is the titanium silver blue color. There are two colors. There's also like a black color. So yeah, the reason why I'm showing this to you, and then it saves it in notes. It just saved my scribbles. I wanted to show this to you because we're still getting this whole setup going, but let's see here. Yeah, we're getting the setup going, but this is going to be our new streaming camera. So now when we're on stream, I can actually work, get stuff done when I'm on the go. And you guys are going to see, this is also a better stream camera. This camera, this thing right here, higher quality, and the phone's less likely to overheat. This is the best, based on my research on ChatGPT, this puppy is the best phone streaming camera. So I'm gonna be coming at you with this when we're, you know, out doing the lives. So I'm gonna go, I just want to check on her and make sure everything's okay. And then in reality, I think that we're gonna make today a shorter live. It's one of the reasons we haven't done as many desktop streams. I want to get her fully up to speed with all these different areas. Yeah, just get her fully up to speed with everything we're doing. And then tomorrow we'll be able to hop on the live once again, try and get some more desktop streams going. So, you know, keeping it under 2 hours today. It'll be nice and tight. But to close it off, it's been a while since we closed off a desktop stream. You know, I hope you guys had a good time. This has been a blast. If it was your first time here, welcome. I hope you enjoyed. As a quick recap on this stream, nice to see you. On this stream, we give you the full access, unlike anywhere in the entire world, the behind the scenes access of building global organizations, billion-dollar companies live. They're not $1 billion yet, but future billion-dollar companies live. My name is William Samasegi, and let's come work together. Let's do this. It'll be a good time. Thank you so much, and until next time, peace. And then right here, this one's pretty obvious, but whenever you end the stream, you just click this. And you can also end it if you click this.